Hey guys, Tiffany here with PB&J Crochet. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to my very first ever video. Today I'd just like to do a tutorial for absolute beginner crochet stitches. Today we'll be doing the slip knot, the chain stitch, and also the single crochet. Some things that you're going to need is just any type of ball of yarn. I usually like to start with chunky yarn for beginners just because you can kind of see the stitches and see what you're doing. But any ball of yarn will work. Worsted weight is fine. Acrylic or cotton are probably your best bets with starting out. Also, you will need a pair of scissors and a darning needle and of course a crochet hook. So if you have those things with you, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, I have here a pink ball of chunky yarn, size N crochet hook, 10 millimeters, scissors, and a darning needle. I like to use larger size hooks with chunky yarn just so you can see the stitch work a little bit better. You can use any color or crochet hook size that you like. I do recommend though that you do not use darker colors when you're very first starting out, with such as like black, brown, or navy, just because it's a little bit harder to see what you're doing. Lighter colors, you can see the stitch work a little bit better. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a slip knot on our finger. So we're going to take our pointer finger and we're going to create an X with the yarn. You'll take that first loop, place it behind the second loop, and then you'll take that second loop and pull it up and tighten the knot. I'll go ahead and show you that again. Creating an X, taking the first loop, placing it behind the second loop, and pulling the second loop up. You can put it on your crochet hook and tighten it. Not super duper tight, but just like right up against it. Now, we are going to start chaining our work. How you do that is you take the hook. Oh, let me first tell you how I like to hold this. I like to place my finger here on the yarn to kind of keep it steady. I take this working section of yarn and I like to wrap it around my hand like this and sort of let it hang down here by my pinky. So this finger kind of keeps the tension on the yarn. And then I like to pinch the bottom of the work with these two fingers. The first thing I like to suggest is that you sort of practice with this part first and then move on. So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the working yarn around the hook. That's called yarn over. You're going to take that and you're going to pull it through this loop right here. That's one chain. We'll go ahead and do that again. Yarn over, kind of twist the hook a little bit and pull it through that loop that you just had. Yarn over again. There's like two loops on the hook. You take it, pull it through, back to one loop. So we have 1, 2, 3 and our working loop. 3 chains here. Let's go ahead and go to 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go ahead and chain one more to start our new row. Now the way you do a single crochet stitch is you'll place your hook inside the second chain from the hook. So this is chain 1 that you just created to start the new row, and this is chain 2. If you look, you can see that each chain sort of has a V look to it for each stitch, a sideways V or an arrow. So we will place our hook on the top loop of that second V, like so. You'll yarn over and pull it through, so now you have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull that yarn through the 2 loops. That is one single crochet stitch. Following along, we go to the second hump, put the crochet hook in, grab it, yarn over. You have 2 loops on the hook now. Yarn over again and pull through both of those loops. There's 3. You always want to keep count of your stitches. Next chain stitch, we will insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Place in the next chain stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a little more yarn slack here. Okay. Then you'll yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to finish to the end and show you what to do for the next row. Okay, we're on our last chain stitch, so we'll go ahead and make our single crochet. And then we will chain 1 to start the new row. This chain 1 is just adding height to our work, so then we can turn our work and start crocheting back. You will not want to chain, or you will not want to single crochet into this chain. So when we turn it, sometimes it's easy to look at it and think that this right here is a single crochet stitch that we need to work in, but we do not. We have our working loop, our chain, and then our first single crochet V-stitch. If you look at the top of the work, here's the side, here's the top. So what we're going to be doing is placing that hook right underneath this V into this hole, like so, grabbing the yarn, pulling it through. You have those 2 loops again on your hook, and you yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, again, underneath that V into this hole, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, like so. Into that V, pull up, insert your hook underneath the next single crochet stitch, pull it up, and as you can see I have a little knot here. Sometimes that happens in the balls of yarn randomly. Just take it out and keep working. So here's the last 2 stitches. Going to continue to do the same thing, and right here sometimes people make the mistake of either skipping this altogether and chaining and turning their work and starting, and you can see if you continue to do that your piece will actually continue to get smaller as you go, so you will need to make sure you do the last stitch. And one other mistake that I see is once they get to here, they see that chain that they previously had made and they want to work into that. So try to avoid that chain. It's just there to build the row. So what we do is chain again, flip our work, and work our way back. Now remember, this is the working loop. It's kind of hard to see here, I'm sorry. This is our chain, and this top stitch right here, this V here is our very first single crochet that we'll be working into. I'll go ahead and do this row, and then I will show you how to finish off your work. So place it in, grab your yarn, pull it up, grab it again, pull through 2. Under the V again, pull through 2. It takes a little bit of practice. Don't get discouraged if it's a little bit weird at first, because it is a lot to take on in the beginning when you're learning how to hold everything and sort of get your tension right and how you want to hold the hook. But you'll get it. Practice makes perfect. So here we're back to the last stitch again. Grab my piece a little bit better. We're going to place it under there. Sorry if this is a little hard to see. Sometimes that last stitch is a little tricky. So then you pull through, pull through. So if you are doing maybe a scarf or something, like a blanket or a scarf, what you're going to want to do when you're all finished with your piece is you will take your scissors and you will snip it, and you'll pull through all the way. You might be worried that this will come out, but it won't. I assure you it won't. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is weave in any ends that you have. So this is where the darning needle comes in. You just thread it, and what you want to do is weave it into the stitches. So I'm going to just find the stitches and kind of naturally follow the stitch work that you created with when you were crocheting. Excuse me. And you can also go up into the work as well. You just want to hide that ugly little end. Whoops. And then once you have wove it in, if you have like a longer piece, you can just snip it off. Actually, I could probably do that now. So I could just snip it off. There you go, you can't even see it. Same thing with this one. So we'll take this and weave it through the work. I like to also just go up, just kind of weave it randomly throughout the stitches so that way it doesn't come undone. And then once you feel comfortable, you can snip that off. And you have your little, I have my swatch here, you would have your finished piece. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions or comments that you have. Thank you, and have a good day.